Alright, so I got the camper hitched up here. We're going to be going camping tonight, right after I get home from work. So they're going to work on getting everything else packed up. I just got the trickle charger on the batteries there. I did make some modifications to the trailer, to the camper here, a couple things inside. We'll take a look at those, and then we'll also take a look at the campground as well. Alright, we arrived. This is Governor Thompson State Park, or Governor Tommy Thompson State Park. And it's also the Peshtigo River State Forest headquarters. And this is near Crivets, Wisconsin. So it was about a 2-hour and 20-minute ride for us. And hopefully we got good weather for the weekend. There is definitely a chance of rain. Alright, so here we are. This is looking out from our campsite. In the distance there, that's the shower house. Everything there is pretty new. I guess that was just put up not that long ago. And we are at site number 60. And these again reminds me kind of like council grounds type sites. Pretty heavily wooded here. And like most of them, it's one way in and one way out. So I'll take you through the camper and I'll show you what I've worked on here. All right, so when you first open up the door here, I added this, which I got off of Amazon. It's a battery or voltage gauge, and I didn't want it on all the time, so I just tied it in with the USB that's on the opposite side. That's on that switch. So when you turn this switch on, tells you how much battery voltage you have, and we got 13.1. We're fully charged, so that's good. But I'm thinking about putting in like a momentary switch just for this, but as of right now this works okay. Alright, and then looking at the kitchen area here, I installed a hook just so that we had a place to put our dish towel. Otherwise there really isn't anywhere. And then down here, this was an access panel to get to the plumbing below the sink. Oh, I see where that screw is out of now. The furnace cover here is lopsided. We found a screw laying in here. Everything just rattles, and the road we came on was a very rough road. It was even listed that way. But anyway, this panel here, and I saw a different YouTuber do this. He added hinges, otherwise there were just screws here, and these screws would fall out because there was no oh man, I don't even know if I'm gonna get that open. I got this set pretty tight. It was just going into this like particle board stuff, or press board I guess, and the one was completely stripped out. So what I did, I added this, the little catch, so it'll stay closed, which obviously I got that thing set pretty tight, pretty close. And then 2 hinges, which kind of makes it into a door. I'm thinking about doing the same thing with access to the water heater, because that uses the same type of 2 screws and to get to that panel or whatever. But I don't know, I thought that was a pretty ingenious way of fixing that. I was thinking about actually trying to get a knob and matching it to make it look like a storage space, just so it fits in. Alright, and the other idea I took from YouTube was I saw a guy who had the factory storage above the kitchen here. They're like cloth bags that attach to these loops up on top here. So I just went to Menards and picked up a laundry room shelf, which is just wire, and then some cheap chain and hooks, some S-hooks, and just made my own. And this works really well. This here, that's our medical bag, so we don't use that a lot, but you got to have it along. So you got that up there, and then compartments with snacks, and I think there's some other stuff in there as well. But those are 2 containers that gets it out of the way, so once you're at the campsite, you unpack the camper, it's out of the way, which is nice. The one thing we'll have to watch is it is right below the cooktop, but the only thing we've been using that for is just to make the coffee in the morning, so I think it'll be okay. And like I said, there is a factory option, you can get that, and it's in cloth, so I think there's probably enough clearance for that. Alright, so on our end of the bed here, I didn't like the USB cords for charging phone being right in the walkway, especially at night. And you really don't have a lot of options with a pop-up. You got to keep it low because there isn't a lot of place to put anything else. So like there's one down here, that's a factory one, and then like I said previous video, I put one here, and that's the one I got on the switch, which I was trying to keep it out of the way, but I just decided to pull the pin, and I drilled one into the top of the counter here, and I kept it back far enough where I think it'll be out of the way, but it'll be much more convenient. We can just plug our phone in here, and then this is where we usually put our phones anyway. So it's a good place for it, and it keeps the cord out of the walkway. So, and like I said, I kept it back far enough so it's not on the edge of the counter where we're going to do anything. And then if you notice, that one's green, that one's always on. So I'm going to use this power switch I got off of Amazon, real cheap one. It's a on-off lighted switch. And I think I'm going to just drill that in probably right down in here where the water heater switches are. And that's also where I tied off power for the USB, because we don't use the water heater, we haven't yet. And that USB is such a small amount of voltage, I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm thinking I'll probably just go right alongside. There's nothing back here. And then this is where I was talking about the water heater. You can see it's the same type of panel. It's got 2 screws. It might be too big to put hinges on, but it could probably be done. Or you could probably just get some of those catches like I have, and put 2 catches on each side just to plop it in so it stays. But this one we don't take out as much, so it should be okay. So the forecast. So today they called for chance of rain, and at the house my wife said it downpoured for about 20 minutes. We had everything closed on the camper because it was packed. At work, which was about 25 minutes south, we didn't get anything, no rain at all. And then for the weekend, they're forecasting chance of pop-up storms all weekend into Monday. And the radio station we were listening to said it could be severe winds and 1 to 2 inches of rain. But like I said, it might not happen here. It could happen 20 miles from here, just because they're very pop-up. So we're going to try it and see what happens. The reason I bring that up is because I've been watching a lot of videos on pop-up campers. And there's 2 guys I watched. The one guy has the identical model that he bought brand new, and he ended up replacing all of the caulking on the top of the roof because he had it leaking. And I guess he had it into the dealer twice and they just didn't fix it right. So it makes me a little nervous because I don't know if this one's gonna leak. I kind of looked at the seams and everything looks like it's caulked up pretty good. So if we do get rain and it leaks, I'll obviously know that we'll have to check it, but from what I can tell, it looks pretty good. I'm assuming if this is a previous rental, if it did get wet, somebody would have complained and they would have came and fixed it. So, or at least they would have mentioned it when they turned it back in. But I didn't see anything that looked like there'd be any issues, like even on the corners here. And I don't know if this is factory caulk or if that's added, just the way it's kind of gobbed on there. But none of the screws or anything are caulked, and I know he went over the top of each of the screws to make sure that there was no water coming in. And then along the top side there, all the way across, there's like a seam that meets up. So, but there is caulk, and I believe he said there's like a butyl tape that should be underneath that. It's like a self-sealing membrane or whatever. So hopefully everything should be good with that. And if we do get wet in there, we'll keep you posted on that. All right, so this is the shower house and the restrooms. So on this side here is where the restrooms are on, and then on the back side it's individual like shower units, each individual door. I'll show you that in a second. And coming in, I think she said it's about 3 miles to get into the actual campsite from the entrance, from the main gate. So it's a pretty good hike in here. There we got two deer. You can see the one on the left of the stream there, and then a little tiny one there right in this trail. And if you can see the brown one there, he's kind of ducked down. Oh, you can see him move there. He's right there is where he's at. We're just taking a walk through the camping loop. There's a vault on the back side of our campsite here. They got them all in the same type of scheme. The way it looks there with the gray and this looks like imitation rock. And then you got a water point here too, which is nice. So this one's pretty nice. It's a relatively newer buildings and everything. Like, this is the typical size of the site here without anything in it, just to kind of give you an idea. And what I can't understand is, we are out here and I haven't had one mosquito bite, and at home last night it was just ridiculous. Like, you walk through the grass and you got 8 mosquitoes just going to town. But we can be in the middle of the woods here and we just get nothing. No bites, no mosquitoes. I don't know. I don't understand that. Alright, so I guess I was wrong. Each one of these doors is a bathroom and a shower. So I just asked the kids, and like, no, each one has its own shower and bathroom. So that's all the way around the building. A lot of rocks at this park. Just doing the loop here. Here's another one here. Once you get further north in Wisconsin, there's lots of rocks. You got a lot of rocky areas. You got some spots that are all sand, some spots that are rocks, and then you got some spots where there's quite a bit of elevation. Some spots that are completely flat, all to do with the glacier, I'm assuming, that moved through. So this is back to our campsite here. But like I said, this is a pretty concealed area here. Alright, so this weather radio is coming in pretty handy. There's absolutely no internet on our phones at all up here. So we can get cell service, so we can call out, but being able to check like radar on our phone, there's no chance of that happening. So we got AM FM radio here with a weather band, so that's handy to have. Last night we just had a few drops of rain, and literally it was just a few drops and it stopped. I talked to my parents this morning and they said they had like a torrential downpour, so hopefully we don't get that here. But we will be prepared, I guess, if that's the case. We'll just kind of keep our ears glued to the weather radio and make sure we get stuff packed up so everything doesn't get wet. Otherwise, seems like the weather's not scaring anybody else away. We got a whole group of kids, people playing basketball, and like I said, there's a lot of people in tents. So if they can do it in a tent, we should be able to handle it in a pop-up. Alright, so we're looking over Wood Lake. It's a non-motorized boat lake, so you can only, well, it says you can only carry boats in here. They do have kayak rentals as well. And here's another look. In the distance we got an outlook there. I wonder what's in that box. This is one of the pavilions here. This one looks like it was put up relatively recent here. Like I said, they have kayak rentals as well. So right down here, off to the left, they have the kayaks that you can rent. So you take care of it at the front desk, and then you come down here to get your kayak. Here's a look of the pavilion on the inside here. You got a wood stove and a fireplace. Yeah, this is pretty new. Tables in here definitely smell like wood. The whole building here smells like wood. Kind of like this design. It's kind of neat. And here's the beach. And this beach is pet friendly, so we've been letting the dog retrieve a little bit. We got him off the leash and he just went completely zoom mode and was zooming around all over the place. And just in the distance you can see there's someone out there kayaking. That is going to be one tired puppy. He's got to stop drinking the water though.
Here.
Alright, and this is the back side. You can see this nice stone chimney here. I really like this design. I don't know, I kind of walked it off. I think that's approximately, the building is a 30 by 30, and then I'm not sure what the overhang might be, another 15 or 20 feet. Alright, the rain has arrived and we went into town to get some supplies and check the radar on our phone, and it does not look good. It looks like it's going to rain the rest of the weekend now. So plan was to make some steak on the fire. We'll have to see if it tapers down. We'll get a fire going and maybe cook the steak. Otherwise we'll have to go with plan B, whatever that may be. Alright, so good news, bad news. We packed up. It started to rain and we're gonna head for home. We got everything packed up. Everything was wet. I guess the good news would be nothing was leaking on the camper. We were in it for about an hour and a half or so with it raining, and just decided we couldn't make supper over the fire, so we packed everything up and we're gonna head back. And then we saw these two goofs here walking around, so we're gonna follow these guys around a little bit. And I think that'll be it for now.